In search for directions, my thoughts reflecting on who watches those cops ain't protecting. Globe full of government probe, mind dissecting, AIDS infecting freaks, streets infested worldwide. Home is where my head last rested. A traveling man, I seen it all, no question. Peep the situation first, then give my assessment. A lesson well learned, worth more than stock investments. Rock testaments, backed up by instruments intended for city kids in 12-story tenements. Stay forever bent, weed smoke is the evidence. Without it, aggression levels on a low tolerance. Hoes swallowing my semen, dream they pregnant. Little cats who fiend for televised segments. Johnny's a legend, so seize the half-stepping. I represent the garden break, too like a reverend.
Take your time, don't rush the clock. Bring it back to life, back to reality. Take your time, don't rush the clock. Bring it back. Take your time, don't rush the clock.
Right, what's up, people?
Bring it back to life, back to reality.
I'm in Seattle, Washington, USA. It's the 28th of December 2019. About 7-8 degrees Celsius outside, roughly 45 Fahrenheit. I'm gonna take you on another podcast. Just a simple walk throughout downtown in the city. See what's going on. The plan is to walk via 5th Avenue to Pike Street, which then ends up at Pike Marketplace, then go uphill onto Pine Street, and then from there onwards to the Space Needle, which is one of the main tourist attractions here in Seattle. So we'll see how it goes. It's quite a nice day. Yesterday was cloudy and rainy. It's early morning right now, 9:30, and it's supposed to be quite sunny like this for the entire morning, and then around 1 o'clock it's gonna cover up with clouds again. So I figured I have to take this walk in the morning. By the way, the whole purpose of these walks and talks is just for people to watch and relax, enjoy the scenery. Alright, 7 seconds to cross this road. Because I find these kind of videos on YouTube very relaxing, and I always put them on from other content creators while I'm cooking food or studying or doing some other stuff. It's just quite calming. So my plan throughout the rest of 2020 and maybe onwards, depending on the success of this, is to create these videos and share some of my thoughts, my topics of interest with you guys, and create something nice that people can watch and hopefully enjoy. So the taxi driver yesterday, he told me that Seattle is basically made up out of, well, it starts there at the ocean, and the streets, they start from 1st Avenue all the way up to the avenues, they start from 1st Avenue all the way up to, I think, 40th Avenue, and that's basically where the city ends. But the city center or downtown area, I think it stops at 9th or 10th, and then you have all these streets which cross from the ocean side all the way uphill to a place called Capitol Hill, I suppose, which are relatively steep. So if you ever come here, I would suggest taking all these streets downhill. Do not take them uphill, especially not in the winter time, because winter time is cold. It can get really rough here. Last year I was here in February, and it was snowing. Walking downhill was nice. Taking the same route uphill though, that's another story. It took me maybe a solid 15 minutes to go downhill, but almost an hour to get back uphill because it was so slippery, so cold, walking against the wind, all that stuff. So, a bit of advice from me to you. So I'm on 5th Avenue now, which has a lot of nice stores and shops and retail, maybe just like the one in New York. Christmas decorations are still out. They, which is obvious because that was about 2 or 3 days ago. Yeah, so this taxi driver, he basically told me that main action always happens in a couple of the streets. Pike Street, Pine Street. This is University Street coming up. That's about it for the downtown area, really. The waterfront is nice. And he also told me that Seattle, I don't know if this is true, yes or no, correct me if I'm wrong. Seattle used to be not such a popular city. They would call it the Wild West. And he was probably talking about 70, 80, 90 years ago. So all the action was happening at the East Coast, guys. So Boston, New York, Washington, Miami maybe, yeah, in the 40s and 50s, but not over here. So this place started living up a bit later, but it's really nice, man. It has the same feeling that you have when you walk through New York. There's always something going on. So here on the left is Rainer Tower. It's quite a cool design, named after Mount Rainier, I think, which is a super tall mountain, or one of the highest. I think it's the highest peak of this entire state, Washington State. Yeah, this is really cool design. So I love it how these architects are able to create all kinds of curvature in these buildings nowadays. It's some real high-end engineering. Obviously this is still under construction, or at least the surface of this building is. So yeah, another cool thing about YouTube is, well, obviously this is my my very first video, so I will not have any subscribers at all. So if you like this, please by all means share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, push the notification bell, all that good stuff, so you get updated whenever I upload a new video. And let's set a target right now. Starting from scratch in 2020, what would be a realistic goal? 250 subscribers? 1,000 maybe? Yeah, let's make 250 a realistic goal. And unrealistic would be, the high end of the spectrum would be 1,000. If I don't make a number between those numbers, I'm gonna quit the channel. That's it, wrap it up. I'm announcing this in the very first vid. Fuck it. Oh, maybe I should keep this channel family friendly. I don't know. I think it's more honest or pure if you just be yourself and speak whatever comes to your mind. Nobody really cares about being family friendly. I don't think kids are interested in watching these videos anyways. They have a very short attention span. Okay, so this is Pike Street. If I turn to the left right now, that should bring me towards Pike Marketplace. You know what's also great about Pike Marketplace is that it's a touristic attraction, or it became this touristic attraction where people go and take pictures, and it looks really nice and nostalgic. But what I like about it is that it's an actual market, so there's no fancy stuff, no fake stuff, no commercialized lighting or other usual crap that you get with touristic attractions. It's the real deal. These people start their market up real early, as with any regular market. Usually just before sunrise it opens up, so all the food, the fish, all the stuff is fresh. These people are trying to make an honest buck. Oh yeah, honest, what's honest anyways? I always wonder if these folks pay their taxes, because how are you going to control? Let's say you own a fish stand, or you sell fruits, or just any other merchandise. How is the government gonna check you on your sales? They would never know. You could always say, man, let's say I'm selling apples and bananas. I say, well, today I've only sold 10 bananas and 5 apples. No way for them to confirm that, because there's no way of tracking all these food items anyway. So it's pretty lucrative actually. It's quite honest versus office jobs or other regular jobs, which yeah, I don't know. You know, these jobs where you clock in and everything is monitored. They'll know exactly when you enter the office building. They'll know exactly when you leave the office building. CCTV everywhere. And yeah, they're gonna tax your ass for sure, for as much as they can. Okay, so it's another Starbucks. This city is famous for Starbucks. Apparently the very first ever Starbucks came from this city, and it's actually where we're walking towards now. You find a lot of hobos in this town as well. Yeah. Hobos, homeless brothers and sisters. Hobo and Ho-C. I don't know why. I think they have a higher statistical rate of homeless people than any other city, or at least it feels like that. They're out in the open. Maybe the government should come up with more of these areas where they can house these people instead of dumping them on the street or letting them. It's their own choice anyways, but I always feel sad when I see homeless people, because usually it's a combination of things. It's just this shitty cocktail of shit personality sprinkled with a whole lot of bad luck and a sequence of shitty events. So one of my friends actually told me that he always, regardless, well, first of all he checks if the guy is like sober and has a decent appearance, but he always gives them money. It's like a small donation, even €1, $1 would be enough. And his motivation for this is because it could be you, and that's legit. That's some cold hard truth. It could be you. And I think a lot of people underestimate the vastness and the aggressiveness of a sequence of shitty events, what it can actually do to you. So as an example, what can happen is, let's say you've got this job and you've got a mortgage, life's great, you got a girlfriend, family's all still alive, mother, brother, sister, father, whatever, and you wake up one day, you get this phone call or message saying, yeah, your relatives have died in a car crash. They're all gone. The next day, or maybe even the same day, your girlfriend breaks up with you, or you find out she's been cheating. So that's two shitty events in one day. And then for some reason, the next day, or maybe a week later, or a month later, you lose your job. That's it. That's your ass gone. Before you know it, you're on the streets. You're unable to pay your house, your mortgage, family's dead. All right. So let's go into Pike Market's place here, where they sell all kinds of good stuff. Fresh fish, fresh fruits, flowers. Alright, this place is super busy.
What?
Taylor, you gotta walk.
Let's go, guys, coming through.
Taylor, you gotta walk.
These places here on the right are actually really nice. I had breakfast there once. This one is super busy. If you ever want to go for some solid good omelette or waffles, they do great waffles. Here it's called Lowell's. The other place is called Athenian. All right, let's cut through here because it's a bit too busy. It kind of ruins the flow of the video. But as you can see, it's real. These people are honest people. They're trying to make a living here. Makes sense, unlike other places in the world where these kind of touristic attractions are always a massive rip-off. Even a tiny breakfast over there is just, it will only cost you maybe $10, $12, and it's not a tiny breakfast. It's it will be a good, solid, good quality breakfast, and I love this honesty. All right, so next thing to see here will be the very first Starbucks. So here we have a crossing of Pike Plaza and Pine Street. Wow. The difference between today and yesterday is it's a 180-degree flip. Yesterday was miserable. Low-hanging clouds with cold temperature, drizzle. This is just amazing. Oh, this car almost crashed into me. breakfast store
Yeah,
here.
we have to.
For
You gotta
waffles.
see it during the summer with 3 cruise ships on a Saturday.
And here you see the lines. This kind of shows how touristic this place is. This is the very first Starbucks ever made or ever launched. Let's see if I can turn around and give you a nice view of this. See how simple it is and see how long the line is. That's the magic of starting something with high quality and honesty. It might eventually grow out to be the best choice someone has ever made. Look at how massive that company is right now. They are absolutely everywhere. I would say they have a solid monopoly on the coffee business around the world. Yep, they sure do. It all started out here. Alright, so here's the waterfront. It's actually quite a nice. Nice little walk. Apparently in these waters they have killer whales and regular whales as well. Hence the ancient Indian pole here. So yeah, going back to that topic on being homeless, it seriously could happen to anyone, and it's just a mixture. Yeah, let's say if you have really strong discipline, you might be less likely to end up in that position if you have a strong mindset. But sprinkle that with a shitload of bad luck, oh man, it could lure around the corner for everyone. Right, let's see. Now we're going to start walking uphill all the way towards 4th Avenue. And there they have this botanical garden owned by Amazon, which has an awesome, it really has an awesome design. I'm not gonna go inside because they'll charge solid hard cash for that. But from the outside it looks cool. And from 4th Avenue we can continue our walk. Towards the Seattle Space Needle, which is a nice area. They have got this nice park over there with museums, art museums, educational stuff, outdoor artwork, and all kinds of goodness. But yeah, so depending on your personal traits and your sensitiveness for see, this is what I mean, your sensitiveness for dealing with problems and life strikes you down, that kind of depends, that kind of decides how likely you are to end up being a hobo, a homeless brother or a homeless sister. So yeah, lose your job, lose your girlfriend, something happens to your family, and you deal with stress by reverting to drugs or alcohol, and that's you on the street. There you go. This is what I mean with these hills. They are absolutely horrendous. One street, one block, and I'm almost out of breath. Walking and talking, guys. Okay. There's a lot of street art on the wall there on the left. Now is later, it says. That's kind of true. That's what they say. The moment you realize that you are in the current moment, that's the exact moment that moment is gone. It's very difficult to live in the now, to just enjoy and be yourself. But it's a skill, really. Here at Virginia Street, we're gonna cross the road and continue the hike upwards. Four solid streets or blocks, whatever you want to call it. I hope this video turns out, and especially the audio. I'm shooting this with a GoPro Hero 8 Black. Which is funny because there's no white or yellow or red GoPro out there. It's the only option you have. No silver, no bronze, no platinum, just a black one. But it's an amazing device, really. So I'm shooting this in 4K, 30 frames a second, with super view on and hyper smooth 2.0. The only problem is this GoPro. It's not really a problem, but it is an issue. This GoPro Hero 8, they launched it in October this year, and yeah, they're gonna launch an additional module which you can click onto your GoPro, and that has a professional external microphone and the option to connect HDMI cables and a LED light. So it's gonna be very user-friendly especially for vloggers and content creators. So at the moment there's no option for me to connect a external mic to this thing, but by the time that add-on comes onto the market, I'll immediately buy it and smash it onto the GoPro, so we can get slightly better audio, or hopefully a lot better audio than this. Also not sure whether it's a good idea to keep shooting this in super wide or in just the regular wide mode that they have, which is good enough for these kind of videos. The super wide one, it kind of seems to crop the image a lot. On the phone at least it looked like that, so we'll see. I'll fine tweak all this stuff. I actually travel the entire planet. Maybe I can give a quick introduction to you guys. My name is Jurr, J-U-R-R. I'm 33, turning 34 in July next year, and I'm from Holland, Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Mummy is from the UK, but I was born and raised in the Netherlands, as you might have picked up from my accent. The reason I'm in Seattle is because I travel a lot for my work. I'm in the aviation business, and to be more precise, I'm a pilot on the Boeing 777. So if there are people out there who are interested in knowing anything regarding aviation or piloting aircraft, airplanes to be more specific. I don't know much about flying helicopters, but airplanes, and then specifically Boeing. Yeah, shoot me a message on YouTube or in the comments down here, and I will 100% answer all of your questions. I've been flying since 2009 on jets, which is a long time. That's 10 years going. So I started the whole pilot training in 2007 on small aircrafts in Oxford in the UK. So that all starts out with doing about, how long was it? Man, I've got a shitty memory. I would say it was roughly, was it twice? Yeah, it was roughly 12 months of theory. I have to say it correct. No, that's not true. It was 6 or 7 months of theory, 2 blocks of 3 months. So you start in Oxford just doing ground school theory, and I would say it's not difficult theory. Let's go this way, keep it smooth. The theory isn't difficult, it's just a lot. So I would compare the complexity of the stuff with the complexity of a standard university college degree. So not a bachelor's or master's degree from a university, but one step below, UC. But then all of that theory, the most difficult part of this ground school stuff, is all of that theory is cramped into 6 months. So if you would normally do all that stuff in 4 years or 3 years, now it's all packed in 6 months. So it's like a train. You jump on that train, and whatever you do, the rule number 1 is don't let go. Don't weaken up, don't let go. But yeah, let's speed this story up. After that, I went to Arizona and Phoenix for basic flying on a small propeller aircraft called a Piper Warrior, and then that lasted 6 months. And then the last month over there, you start flying on. Here, look. Speaking about aviation and pilots, there we go. These guys look like they're flying for an Asian airline. They're probably tired and jet lagged. All right, look at that. So after that, you transfer onto a dual engine aircraft instead of a single engine aircraft, still with propellers. You need to be able to handle a dual engine aircraft because it handles a lot different from a single engine aircraft. And these are still propeller / piston aircraft. So it's a piston engine just like any car. No jet engine and no fancy stuff yet. And it's driven, the main torque and force generated by the engine goes out via the propellers. So no fans, no jets, nothing yet. And so once you've mastered that small part of navigating and flying the dual engine piston aircraft, they send you back to Oxford, where I started learning how to fly in IFR conditions. They call it instrument flight rules, basically above the ground when you can't see, above the clouds where you can't see the ground. Think about navigating without being able to see any cities or rivers or mountains or other landmarks. It's pretty difficult, so you rely 100% on your instruments. After that, it's a short course onto a small jet aircraft, in my case a Boeing 737, in order to, they call it the jet orientation course, in order to learn how to fly jet aircraft, because a jet handles different from a propeller aircraft. And you also learn how to work as a multi-crew instead of a single pilot crew, which is interesting. And after that, you're off. Like the whole course lasts 18 months, and then you're off. You can apply to any airline. Now, usually in the US and other parts of the world, like South Africa and Australia, you're not allowed to you are not allowed to start, the airlines won't allow you to start on a big jet commercial flying without any experience. So you have to become a flight instructor, do any job in flying mail or other cargo around. By the way, this is the Amazon Botanical Garden here on the right. So you got to build some experience. Usually that lasts for like 3 or 4 years for these guys before they can apply for the regular airlines. But in Europe it's different. You can basically start straight away because we pay a lot of money for our training, and we also need to pay the rest of the course. So anyways, back to my small little introduction and resume. I started flying for a low-cost carrier in Europe at the age of 23 on the Boeing 737-800, which carries about 190 passengers. And after 2 years over there, I changed to a Dutch airline, flew the 767, Boeing 767 for 3 years, and then almost 2 years on the Boeing 787. And after that, I was fed up with paying a lot of tax back in Holland. The system is actually quite good, but paying taxes for the rest of your life, roughly 52%, that's a dead end for me. So I left for the Middle East. Now I'm flying for a Middle Eastern airline. I can't say the name because they're very protective of the brand, but I basically fly the 777, Boeing 777, multiple variations and models. So the freighter, the 300 ER, the 200 LR, and hopefully soon some updates of this 777, which Boeing is working on right now. Headquarters of Boeing is actually here in Seattle, so that's quite cool. So yeah, that's me. If anyone has any questions on piloting, Boeing, any specific questions, just drop them in the comments, please. Also like the video, subscribe. I'll 100% answer them. As long as you don't go into any personal details or anything about specific airlines or brand damaging stuff, I'm happy. I'll cover you. So yeah, that's 10 years of flying the jets, and on this route network we basically fly all over the planet. And on these layovers, yeah, they can end up becoming really boring, or not specifically boring, but sometimes there's just not much to do. So I just go out for walks, and I found that I usually end up making small snippets and videos for friends back home, just to share the general vibe and the general atmosphere. So I figured, you know what, 2020 is coming up. Sometimes at home I flick on these kind of POV walking videos of other content creators on YouTube. I might as well start my own because I fly all over the world. For instance, in 2 weeks I'll be in Auckland, New Zealand, which is almost on the other side of the planet compared to Seattle here. It's literally on the southern hemisphere, so it's summertime over there right now. And I'll do another video there, and about 2 weeks later I'll be in Geneva in Europe, so I'll do another video there. So yeah, my general topics of interest are flying, which I'm lucky enough to get paid for too. Combine this with these YouTube vids, and other than that, I am very interested in investing, building up wealth, general progress in life. So that kind of intertwines also with physical progress. This is not really a nice street to be walking, there's a lot of construction. But yeah, whatever. Space Needles over there. So I like physical sports which require a lot of skill. So we're talking martial arts, boxing, kickboxing, but also gymnastics, hand balancing, working out on the rings. That kind of, and then with a focus on strength training, so you can actually, over long periods of time, you can see amazing progress. So that will be another topic of discussion for this channel. Let's see where we are. These streets should actually end up at the Space Needle Park, so can't really miss it anyways. So yeah, you'll find me talking about aviation, building wealth, maybe even generational wealth. And what I mean with building wealth is investing in real estate and other asset classes like the stock market, the bond market, and cryptocurrencies, which is a brand new asset class, and maybe all kinds of other ways of building wealth by starting small businesses, other services, content creation. That's another good one. Or just earned income. There's nothing wrong with earning an income. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. And sports, we'll talk a lot about sports, about building strength, building mobility. Stamina is not really my thing. I'm all about sprints, short and explosive stuff. We'll discuss nutrition, which is very important if you're into physical progress, physical gains, so to speak. Nutrition is almost the cornerstone. But what I do want to go against is the general bodybuilding and fitness kind of industry, because if you look at that from a almost a philosophical or ethical perspective, what these guys are doing, don't get me wrong, it's very difficult to reach these kind of stage ready physiques. It takes a lot of dedication and hard work and sweat. But where it goes wrong for me is that they are in essence reverse engineering their physiques from the final product of an athlete. So either a swimmer or a rock climber or a fighter, a martial artist, a gymnast, a track athlete, weightlifters. They're taking that physique that they see on the Olympics, or maybe even generally in the gym, and they wanna build that same kind of aesthetic physique, but not by doing that actual sport. Because let's pick boxing for instance. If you box your ass off for a couple of years, you're gonna end up getting that physique 100%. And that's just a natural consequence. It's a side effect of training so much boxing. So good on them, right? You got an amazing skill, you can fight, you can defend yourself, maybe even your family, your friends, whatever you want to do. Build up a career in this sport, build up some respect, some status. It's all good. And as a side effect, you get a ripped body too, which looks fucking good naked, you know? Girls will love you. That's another good topic of discussion. Girls, relationships, what to do and what not to do. Red flags, the whole red pill society online. I find it very interesting. So yeah, that's what happens if you do a sport very seriously. Now these fitness guys and bodybuilders, they end up looking the same, maybe even a tight bit more on point, so to speak, maybe more shredded, drier, leaner, whatever, what have you, but they do not have the skill at all. And that's, to me, that's just a bit sad. It's a bit of a sad place to be. Same goes for dancing and gymnastics or sprinting, climbing. Yeah, so we'll focus a lot on that aspect of the world, really, of life. So let me know what you guys think. Are you looking forward to these kind of videos? Just as I addressed in the beginning of this walk, the whole purpose is to just put these videos on and just let me ramble and talk about certain topics of discussion, topics of interest, and basically, like, don't take it too serious, right? Because it's basically as a form of entertainment. Just enjoy the content and don't get too upset if I say anything that might offend you or your friends or your family. I'm not extremely serious on all this stuff. Just see it as a background form of entertainment with the ability to actually interact with me, so you can leave some comments on any topic that you want. So aviation, sports, nutrition, relationships, girls, and investing. Okay, so the monorail right here, it leads towards the park. It turns out my GoPro died for some reason. So the last part of this video will be in this iPhone format, hence it's a bit more clunky, I suppose. No hyper smooth on this thing. So as you can see, we are here at the Seattle Space Needle. And yeah, how I wanted to finish is, if you like this content, guys, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment, positive or negative, hopefully positive, and tell your friends and family to follow this channel. Also, if you have any questions or comments regarding aviation, flying airplanes, Boeing, how to get started on that, or on investing, cryptocurrencies, the stock market, by all means leave me a comment. And what I intend to do is, on all these topics, even relationship stuff which we haven't really discussed in this video, and nutrition and sports, which was the last part that I addressed. Every single question, I'll answer it. The whole goal is to answer those questions via the videos, so on another location, and I'll edit the video with the exact question, and I'll 100% answer every single question out there. So the goal for 2020, upload nice videos like this, these walk and talks, the WoW podcasts, walks of wisdom throughout the entire planet. The next upload will be in Auckland, New Zealand, and then it will be Geneva in Switzerland, hopefully with some questions. If I don't see any comments or questions, it doesn't really matter. I'll just keep uploading new content, and eventually the snowball will start rolling. So yeah, for the algorithm, again, please subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, tell your friends and family. And this is me signing off. Goodbye, guys.